People that in that house are doing. So I spoke about this briefly in one of my videos way back, but I said I just add to it, I suppose now. So basically, history classes in secondary and primary school. I feel, as somebody who went through, primary school and is going through secondary school at the moment, I feel like a cat right there. I don't know what's happening. Every so often I have to take a huge deep breath. But yeah, there's not enough focus in, say, school. Take for example, let's just take Laois. Let's take Laois in Laois. A school in Laois. Just say for example, primary school in Laois. They don't focus on Laois's history, the county's history, the local community's history. And I think that's something that should be explored and really promoted by the Department of Education. But obviously they're too busy. Couldn't tell you what Minister McHugh's up to. I honestly couldn't tell you what he's up to. I think he's just... I don't know what he could be doing. He's probably getting money from the other people paying for SNAs. I think that's probably what he is. Because he just literally doesn't know how to run the department. Me to get rid of him, definitely. Get rid of him, throw him out. Because he's no use. He's no addition. The meet to start focusing on local history. Like, say, for example, your local historic buildings. Now, when I was in secondary school, when I started my first year in secondary school, we learned about people who used to the Upper Milltown, can't think of their names. Robertson Brothers, the Robertson Brothers from Milltown. If anybody's watching from Milltown, Drum Lane, up Drum Lane way. You learned about Milltown, when we were taught that in history, which is great. And because I didn't know about the Robertson Brothers, and if you look up Hands, it used to be a program on RT. There's a huge documentary on the Robertson Brothers from Milltown. They used to make beautiful furniture. Used to be able to carve like with their own hands, carve out great. Like say for example, take this piece of wood here. They'll be carving out, the signs, by hand. With the tourists, obviously. But, you don't see that nowadays. You don't see that. There's very little people who could do that by hand. And, we learned about that. And if only if that teacher telling us about that day, I would never probably heard of the Robertson Brothers. I might as well be honest. And, that's the good thing. That's the good thing, because I know about them now, and I took me a few minutes to remember the name, but if I remember them name... And also about in Cavan, when I was in secondary school, we learned about Poor Clares, the convent that was born down in 1942, and the nuns locking the children in them. Well, we didn't learn about that part. We didn't learn, but they kept that secret from us. They didn't want people to uprise against the Catholic Church. But obviously that was there's no word that can justify what was done that night. And barricading them children in the rooms, and the nuns not letting anybody go in to save them. There was no justice. There was nothing. It was basically there's nothing to defend them, because the only reason why, and I tell you that this is the story, and this is the truth. They were in their pajamas, and the nuns wouldn't let them out in the street because they were in their pajamas, and rather let them burn and go out in the street in their pajamas. And none of the nuns died. And again, I reiterate, as I always say, they were bad bitches, them nuns, and I have no sympathy for them. Them nuns who caused, the nuns who just let them children, die, I have no sympathy for them. Because that was very, very evil to do that. Just lock them in and just let them, it was honestly just, there was nothing left. There was nothing left of the bodies, because it was that intense, the fire. And you don't learn them things at school, but you learned a bit about it. You learned about the fire. You learned about what there was no fire brigade in Cavan, and obviously the fire just waged for days and days until it burned out. But yeah, you need to focus on local history, local area history, local county history. But yeah, thank you for watching. Subscribe for more, and bye.